2.5 in kilos, but in pounds is 666.
What's up guys, thanks for tuning in this week. I'm finally back to New Zealand after a very successful event over in Perth, Western Australia. Over there I was lifting at what they call the Pacific Invitational, the second one of the year for Australia. Now generally at these events they're all international events, the ones they host over there. They run in conjunction with one of the health and fitness expos which they put on 4 a year. So very happy to go to my second event in Australia this year. And they also invited Blaine Sumner of America and also Jennifer Thompson, the world's best bench presser by Wilkes. So it was a very exciting day. I was very much looking forward to it. The competition build-up had been going great. Now what I did different than the build-up to World Champs this year is I did a percentage-based program where I had set numbers that I was going into the gym that day to hit. Very comp specific, so the specificity was very high. A lot of just the competition lifts. Really nailed down on the technique and what I needed to get to get white lights on the day. So that was a big change in the programming, and it obviously very much paid off, as you're about to see. Now coming into the competition, the other thing I did very differently as well is I grew, I put on a bit of weight. So I was over in Finland riding, I was always weighing in around 82.5, 83.5. I was always somewhere between there. And I just found that it was really actually hard to recover, was the first one, and actually just to get stronger. And obviously we all know that the bigger you are, pretty much the more you're going to lift. Obviously there's some argument to that, but in generalisation, the bigger you are, the more you lift. So I decided when I left Finland, I'm going to put on a few kgs, and I'm going to go up to about 86, 87, even 88 if I can get to there, and then I'm going to drop back down for the meet. So 2 weeks out, I was probably a good 3 or 4 kgs over, exactly how I wanted to be, and leading into the final week during the taper, I hadn't hit anything, any PBs or anything in the gym at this stage, and I was just starting to drop weight. Now the interesting thing with this competition, I showed up 2 hours, that's just 2 hours before weigh-in. I was 1.25 kgs over, so I actually had to go to a sauna. The first time I've ever had to go to a steam room and actually lose that weight. So I was sitting in the sauna, fully clothed, had my Sbd shirt on, had my pants on, even had a jersey on, sitting in there for about 40 to 45 minutes. I was fortunate enough to have some very good support over in Perth. So shout out to you boys, you know who you are, for helping me out. And I remember rushing back to the weigh-in room. Had no idea what I was weighing. My t-shirt was absolutely saturated. Ripped that off, jumped on the scales, and I was 82.7 kgs just before weigh-in. And I was second to weigh-in. As soon as weigh-in started, I was pretty much done, and I started downing some drinks, a lot of Gatorade, electrolytes, just to get the body moving again. Didn't want to obviously cramp up at all while I was lifting, and I wanted to be hydrated again. So I wanted to get back up to at least 85 kgs by the time I'm actually starting to lift, starting to warm up. And it paid off big time. It paid off massively. Now the goal for the day, obviously a lot of you may know, was to total 800 kgs. And the way I did that you're about to see in the video. So started off nice and light. We already had our numbers set from day one. So from about 10 to 12 weeks before this competition, we actually pretty much knew what all 9 lifts were going to be. The only thing that changed was my deadlift progressed so well that we decided to sort of ramp that up a bit. But it didn't quite pan out on the day. So as you're about to see, opened up the squat with 265. Now that absolutely flew. So we went the planned second already, 277.5 kgs, just 3 kgs off my personal best. Now that moved very, very well. It was a bit light-headed when I got to the top. So instead of going for 287, which was our projected third attempt, we decided to scale it back just 2.5 kgs to 285, which still left me with a new open world record and a 4.5 kg PB. So moved on from the squats, 3 from 3, so I was very, very happy at this stage. So moved on to the bench press. Open was always as planned, around 190, 192. It doesn't really matter because 200 kgs was always going to go up that day. So it's exactly what we did. Opened at 192, went straight to 200, and then called it 205.5, which is what we had called originally for a new bench press world record, and surprisingly enough, that moved even faster than the first 2 attempts. So just goes to show that little bit of mentality, that real focus on that number can go a long way in your performance. So thinking about those numbers, guys, really lock them down, really aim for them, think about them the whole time through your training block, and I guarantee you'll hit them for sure. And then moving on to the deadlift. So at this stage, we're only 2.5 kgs behind what we had really wanted to get at the subtotal. So we stuck to our guns there. We opened up at 285 kgs. Now our plan was to move to 307.5 kgs, which would have given me an 800 kg total if I had gone for 287.5 kgs at the time. However, finished it there. We decided, right, we're just going to go for 300, and then finished with 310 kgs, 9 from 9. finished second place to Blaine Sumner, if you guys can see that. Second place, so a beautiful little trophy that they've given me from Perth. Really appreciate that, guys. Rob Morrell for organising this event. Big thanks to Sbd, you guys are amazing, the best sponsor ever. Really appreciate you guys' support. And to all the comments, all my fans out there, really appreciate you guys' support. Really motivating. So we're going to move on for the rest of the year. Basically, it's back into training, back into some volume. I'm going to get the diet really knuckled down. I'm going to go back to a bit of macro counting. So I'll give you guys a bit of information on that in the next video. It's going to be really exciting. A few training tips to come. And really looking forward to a big 2016 where I'll be kicking it off big at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. So hope to see you guys then.